The next major project in the boys' universe is Vought Rising, and this time the focus isn't on action or shock value, but on the origin story of how the entire Vought system was built. This show will be set in the 1950s, when superhero culture was still in its early stages, and Vought International was creating the blueprint to control that culture. In The Boys, we saw how corrupt the system has become, but in Vought Rising, we're gonna see how that corruption actually started. The most interesting part of this series is that it won't be a normal superhero prequel. It is being told in the form of a murder mystery, where early supes, corporate politics, and hidden agendas will all collide with each other. This means the suspense to the story won't just be about who survives, but about who is working for whom. Vought Rising's pilot will likely be set in a phase when Vought was still converting its superheroes into public icons. This will be the time when the company was realizing that powers could be used not just for fighting, but also to control politics, media, and public emotion. The central conflict of this story is exactly how the image of superheroes was manufactured and how much dirty truth was hidden behind that image. The murder mystery angle makes it even more dangerous because every character could be a suspect and a victim. The early era of Vought is going to be pretty messy because the rules weren't even established at that time, and where there are no rules, there is no limit to power and violence. This is important for the boys fans because the thrill of the show will lie in whether there is even a good guy in this show or not. Just like in The Boys, everyone is covered in blood. If we look at the first promotional material for Vought Rising, an interesting detail comes to light. On the surface level, it just looks like a team lineup of retro superheroes, but if you look a little closer, almost every character seems to symbolize a specific branch of the American military structure. And this doesn't seem like a coincidence, because the boys' universe always uses symbolism and political satire smartly. So the chances are very high that these original supes are intentionally designed around America's military identity, so that they can fit the supes into the military and expand their business further. Let's take a look at the supes one by one, starting with Soldier Boy, who looks like a classic American Army propaganda poster. Broad shoulders, patriotic colors, a confident smile, and the image of the nation's protector. This is exactly the type of heroic presentation that was used in recruitment posters and war campaigns during World War II. Therefore, we believe that Soldier Boy represents the Army. He seems to be the symbol of a ground soldier, and that's why even after taking V1, he didn't get the power of flight, whereas Stormfront and Bombsight have the power to fly. Now that Bombsight's name has come up, let's talk about him too. Bombsight's name itself seems inspired by aviation and aerial warfare. In the real world, a bombsight is a targeting device that bombers used for accurate airstrikes. In fact, you can see bombs designed on his costume, which might be hinting at his ultimate attack. If you look at the 1950s setting, air superiority was a massive obsession for America during the Cold War era. Fighter jets, nuclear bombs, and the Strategic Air Command were all becoming a part of the national identity. Besides, based on what has been shown of Bombsight so far, he has already displayed the power of flight, in addition to super strength and invulnerability. Therefore, we believe that Bombsight probably symbolizes the Air Force or the Military Aviation Division. If Soldier Boy represents boots-on-the-ground patriotism, then Bombsight seems to be the symbol of America's dominance in the skies. Then comes Torpedo, whose name alone tells you that he is directly connected to naval warfare. Torpedoes have historically been a major weapon for submarines and naval combat. Maritime military power was a huge part of America's global dominance, especially in the post-World War II period. Aircraft carriers, naval fleets, and ocean control all played a critical role in building America's superpower image. And if Vought was marketing its superheroes like military propaganda assets, then making a Navy-inspired supe is an obvious step, man. But there could be another hidden layer here. In the boys' universe, heroes are never just heroes, they are branding tools. So the possibility is that these characters aren't just representing military branches, but are also selling America's idealized national image. Soldier Boy is strength and patriotism, Bombsight is technical superiority, Torpedo is global reach and naval dominance. And then in this lineup, we see another surprising character named Private Angel. So far, very little has been officially revealed about this character, but looking at her costume design and insignia, we can assume that she carries the symbolism of wartime medical support or the Army Medical Corps. The name Angel has historically been used a lot in the context of battlefield nurses and medics. So yeah, chances are that the character's role is connected to combat support, recovery, or a humanitarian image, which shows Vought's perfect propaganda. Now, because the military doesn't just sell violence, it also sells hope, which carries the promise of protection based on their sacrifice, which the other three supes are showing. So in this case, Private Angel can become the public-facing symbol of compassion. This is exactly what makes Vought Rising even more interesting, where on the surface it looks like a retro superhero team, but on a deeper level, maybe it's the superhero version of America's military-industrial identity, a carefully manufactured image where every supe doesn't just represent powers, but represents a specific piece of national ideology. And if the show genuinely explores this angle, then Vought Rising won't just remain a superhero prequel, it could become a dark origin story of propaganda, militarism, and corporate image building. Because in The Boys, we've seen that Vought doesn't sell heroism or safety. They are selling a product like a corporate company, but was Soldier Boy also like this from the beginning? Or did Vought make him an even bigger monster? This is also something to think about, because Soldier Boy giving the V1 to Homelander shows that he also has a human side that Sister Sage didn't consider. According to Sister Sage, he was a ruthless monster who would destroy V1 when he found out what Homelander did to Stormfront. But this bet backfires, and that's why Vought Rising becomes an interesting show, where we will be shown Soldier Boy going from a good guy towards corruption. Now, Eric Kripke has clearly stated that Vought Rising won't sympathize with Stormfront's character because she is a Nazi, but he didn't say anything like that about Soldier Boy. Now, the one we know by the name of Stormfront will be seen in Vought Rising as Clara Vought, or rather as Liberty. Now, because the Liberty incident happened in the 1970s, there are higher chances she will just be shown as Clara Vought. Seeing her past version in Vought Rising will be even more revealing, because the origin of her public image and private ideology can be shown here. If the other supes are representing the American military, then Clara Vought will become the face of ideological cruelty and manipulation. Besides, she is the only link that will show us how a Nazi scientist left his country to come to America and built a company here that manufactures supes. With Vought Rising having a murder mystery format, the pace of the story will be different from a normal prequel. Every character will have something to hide, and with every reveal, the situation will keep getting more complicated. This approach fits perfectly in The Boys universe, because this franchise already plays with truth, media, and perception. Vought Rising will make that same idea even more personal. Actors like Jordan Nicolio, Ricky, and Brian Smith are also confirmed for Vought Rising, but their roles are also a mystery right now. Besides this, Jensen Ackles' actor Jensen Ackles has confirmed that Vought Rising won't be just for one season, but it will have multiple seasons, and that is why he said yes to the show. So get ready for another fun, genre-defining show like The Boys. Ultimately, the purpose of Vought Rising won't be to make us think heroes are even cooler. On the contrary, this show will tell us how the very concept of a hero can become a manufactured product, just like we've seen in The Boys show. But Vought Rising looks for the answer to this franchise's darkest question: what exactly was the source of the evil? If The Boys showed us how rotten the system is, then Vought Rising will show us how it actually got rotten in the first place. So get ready for an entertaining show. Until then, enjoy the finale of The Boys. Anyway, that was all for today's video. If you liked the video, please give it a like and share it. And yes, make sure to subscribe to the channel because more videos like this on The Boys will keep coming. Thank you for watching, guys.